Hello, my name is Renee. Welcome to my channel, The Cupboard Under the Stairs. This is my first video in my new decluttering series, and today I will be decluttering the living room. Hopefully this 1 hour video will motivate you to get some areas of your house that may be untidy a little more tidy. I wanted to get some content out to you as soon as possible, and this living room declutter video was ready, and the one I planned on posting first is not. So I hope it won't be too disappointing that we're doing the living room today instead of the bathroom. The audio in this video will be voiceovers because if I were to stop and talk while recording, it would take even longer for this video to be complete. And this is already a kind of a long video, I feel. So I didn't want to stop and talk for that reason. For another reason, I tend to ramble sometimes, and it would just distract me from getting done what I need to get done and totally defeat the purpose of this video. The decluttering videos are a little bit more involved because there's so much in it that it wouldn't be a good idea for me to stop and talk in them. However, in the future, when I do regular cleaning videos, I should be able to stop and talk a little bit more because those aren't so involved as much as these decluttering videos are. Sometimes you'll see me look up at the camera, and that's just because I'm making sure that I didn't forget to hit record, which I have done a couple of times in the bathroom video. So there'll be portions when you watch that where it'll look like I've already started. That's only because silly me forgot to hit record before I started doing the work. So you're probably wondering where I'm bringing all that stuff. I'm bringing it to my bedroom, and that's where I'm going to go through all the stuff later. I'm not bringing everything in the room because not everything needs to go to the room for me to go through it. For instance, all the coffee stuff, I'm not planning on going through that stuff in this video. I'm planning on doing a completely separate video for the coffee bar. Also, I left the books on the bookshelf because I don't need to declutter any of those. Those have already been downsized to the minimum amount that I want to own. This table really becomes a dumping ground in my house just because it's the table. It's a flat surface and it attracts all the clutter, and it doesn't help much that it's close to the door. Do you find that you and your family set things down on the table and that the table just becomes so cluttered all the time? Because that sure happens around here, no matter how much I want to try to keep it clean. You may even notice some items in this video that are also in the bathroom video when you watch it. For instance, the lamp was in the bathroom and it was on my table here in this video because I had removed it from the bathroom, but I hadn't decided to get rid of it until this video. So you'll see me get rid of it in this video, but it'll be in the bathroom video when you watch it because that's where it was. It was used for a dimmer light because I hate that big bright light that's in the bathroom. My husband uses the bright light, but I can't stand it, especially in the middle of the night when you're sleeping and you have to go to the bathroom. So you get up half asleep and you try to go in the bathroom, and if you turn that big light on, it's just way too bright. And so I would have the lamp so I could still see in the bathroom without blowing my eyes out of my face. But I did get rid of that lamp. I didn't have any attachment to it or anything. It was given to us by some neighbors who also gave us some other furniture. We actually don't have any of that furniture still except for 2 tables that we use as our nightstands on either side of our bed. So it wasn't too difficult for me to get rid of. If you see that little white machine on the floor in front of the bookshelf, that's the humidifier that I briefly mentioned in my bathroom video. You'll have to watch it to see why, but that's the humidifier I was talking about. So now I'll let you listen to some music for a few minutes. Maybe you can use this chance to put a few things away that you know don't belong there. You got this. Hey there, I'm back. But only for a few more minutes. Then I'll let you get back to listening to that amazing music I got from YouTube Studio. Let me give you a brief overview of the steps I take to declutter all the spaces in my house. There are a total of 5 steps, with the last step not always being included. That's because that step is not always necessary, but I'll get to that in just a minute. The first step is empty, which is exactly what it sounds like. This is where you empty everything out of the space to be decluttered. The second step is a deep clean. Deep cleaning is not always necessary, but cleaning is. In this particular decluttering series, I will be deep cleaning the spaces that I am decluttering. The third step is declutter. Obviously, this is the main step to the whole process. This is basically where I go through everything that I took out of the space that I'm decluttering, and I figure out what I'm getting rid of and what I'm keeping. The fourth step, and sometimes the last step, is organize. This is where I take everything that I have decluttered, that is, I've gone through in the decluttering step, and put away only those things that are going back into the space. Just because you're keeping the items doesn't mean it goes back into that space. Some items that you keep just don't belong in that space. So this step is basically putting the things away that go in that space. Sometimes when you finish this step, you're done. But other times, you're not. The sometimes last step, the fifth step, is finishing touches. This is basically any little extra thing that makes that space more special, which may include adding some new things. It's not always recommended to add new things in spaces that you've already decluttered, but sometimes it's necessary to make that space more useful or beautiful. So this is the order that I take when I do a decluttering. In this video, the cleaning footage is some of the longest that I actually had. So instead of speeding it up to ×2 like the rest of the video, I sped it up to ×4. And still, after speeding it up ×4, the footage lasts about 18 minutes. That means the original footage was even longer than this whole video. So I mentioned a few minutes ago that I'm planning to do the coffee bar in a separate video. The coffee bar had more than just coffee and tea stuff in it, so I still needed to empty it, and it still needed cleaning. So I included it in this video. One of the new pieces of furniture that I got was a new desk. The new desk is replacing the old desk, which is in my bedroom. So I will probably include the new desk in the bedroom video when I switch everything over. Depending on how long it takes, it may even be its own video by itself. So for now, I put all of the coffee and tea things on my new desk. I realized while reviewing the footage that somehow I forgot to wipe down the Keurig. I think I got sidetracked when I wiped that pile of loose coffee grounds off of the top of the coffee bar. But when I do the coffee bar video, I will go ahead and clean it just for y'all. Now I'm going to let you listen to some more music, and maybe you can clean something with me. How do your baseboards look? What have you been putting off for later? You can do this. If I can, you can too. again. Did you get a lot done? I hope so. I'm sure you did. Great job. Tell me what you were able to accomplish today down in the comments. So now I'm decluttering. I did get rid of quite a bit of stuff. Some for donation, some trash, and other stuff doesn't belong in the living room, which still makes it clutter in need of removing, but I don't need to go through it right now. So I put it to the side. I put the stuff for donation in those gray bins, which you'll see in a little bit. There are 2 of them, but later I put it all into one bin and save the other bin for later. I'm going to use it in my future videos for the stuff that I decide to donate from those rooms. The bins came with my new desk as drawers, but I don't really care for them, so I just decided to get rid of them. So it worked out perfectly to use them for the stuff that I'm planning on donating. I declutter by organizing things with like items into different categories or sections. Then I can go through each little section to determine what stays and what goes. It just makes it easier on myself. I guess it's just how my brain works. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it this way, but this is how it helps me to be able to get through it all. And if you're struggling to figure out how to go through this stuff, maybe this is a way that'll help you. Just try organizing it into the categories that make sense to you. How do you go through stuff? Is there a special way that helps you to get through it? Go ahead and leave me a comment. Maybe the way you do it will help some other viewers to get through their stuff. So you're going to get to see my husband in this portion of the video because he needed to go to bed and the clutter was covering the bed. He tried to help, but there isn't really much he can do about deciding what to keep and what to get rid of. But I did ask him quite a bit for his input on several items. You may be wondering why he's going to bed while it's still daylight outside. Well, he works 2 jobs. And one of the jobs he works at really early in the morning, and his other job he works in the evenings. So some days he sleeps in the afternoon between those 2 jobs. On other days, he sleeps through the night till he has to get up for his main job early in the morning. Those are for the nights he doesn't work the evening job. I think this was a day that he did not work the evening job, but he still needed to go to bed. The poor guy was so sleepy and I kept talking to him. But then he helped me go through the DVDs because those are just as much his as they are mine. We ended up getting rid of 1 DVD. A couple were pending on whether we wanted to keep it or not after watching it again. And one of the sets that we put aside actually belongs to somebody else and my husband needs to return it. I really want to know if my videos are helping you, so please, please, please leave me a comment. Your comments will encourage me just as much as I hope my content is encouraging you. I'm putting a lot more work into editing my content than I did before, and I hope it shows. Maybe you feel like your home is too far gone. I don't believe it is. One of these days, I'll show you my story, and you'll learn that it really is possible. Very rarely are there actual cases that are too far gone that cannot be helped, but you'll never know if you don't try. And I'm hoping that my little itty bitty videos that don't get out there as much as I'd like them to are actually helping somebody. I know for myself, I still watch cleaning videos from other YouTubers, and their videos motivate me to do these videos and to do my cleaning. And if nothing else, doing these videos helps me to have a source of accountability and motivation because I'm one of the biggest procrastinators out there, believe me. But I would like to know if my videos are helping other people. And so that's why I asked for your likes and your comments and for you to subscribe. I want to know that my content has purpose besides only helping myself. Because eventually, just helping myself isn't good enough. I want to know that I'm helping other people too. Okay, so now I'm rambling. So I'm going to go ahead and let you listen to some more music, and maybe you can use this as your opportunity to go through something you need to go through. Do you have a junk drawer that you can barely open and you don't know what's in there? Go ahead and clean it out. You don't have to do big decluttering jobs. You can do the little itty bitty ones, and it'll get you started. And eventually, you can get to the bigger ones. You just got to get started. Go ahead. I'll be right back in a little bit to see how you're getting on. Hello, me again. Did you have enough time to finish what you started? Don't worry, you'll have a little bit more time in a couple minutes. Did you like the music clips? They're free audio clips that I use from YouTube Studio that I can't get in trouble for using, and I don't have to put the information in my description. But that's not the music I actually listen to while I'm working. You might be able to tell, but I'm actually listening to Pandora on my TV. I actually pay for their service so I don't have to have commercials interrupting all the time. While working in this portion of the video, I was listening to my classical music station, but I play different genres of music depending on what mood I'm in. It's a good thing I removed the sound from my original videos, because then I probably wouldn't be able to play the videos on YouTube due to copyright laws. I know sometimes my videos on Facebook will get removed or partially muted if there's music in the background that have copyrights. So I do my best to make sure I don't have to worry about that. So I use the free music on YouTube Studio. I'd like to apologize in advance. You can't always see what I'm doing because at the time of recording, I didn't realize you couldn't see me. I get very focused on tasks, and sometimes I'll even forget that I was even recording to begin with, so I don't make sure that you can see. I could have edited some of it out, but I felt you needed to see that I was doing something, and you can still kind of see me, even if you can't see what I'm doing. If you couldn't see me at all, then I probably would have edited it out. Towards the end of this portion of the video, I even rearranged the books a little bit on my bookshelf. You can kind of see what I'm doing there, but not really. So I figured I'd tell you what I'm doing when you get to that part. I only moved a couple sections around. It wasn't that much, so I didn't bother making it a point for you to see everything I was doing, I guess. I didn't include the hallway, the closets, or the entryway in this video. I may do all of the odd places together in one video. It probably won't be a decluttering video because really the only thing I could actually declutter would probably be the closets. I haven't 100% decided yet how I'm going to do that. But stay tuned and I'll let you know. The only thing I can really tell you are the next couple of videos. The next one should be the bathroom declutter video, because it's pretty much done. I've just been waiting on one thing. I'm hoping to be able to do that today. And then I gotta do the final parts of editing the entire video, like the audio and stuff. And then it should be ready to go. After that will be my kitchen declutter video. I've already started filming that because my kitchen was really messy and I really needed to clean it. I didn't do a full clean though. I just kind of did a pre-clean, but I'm going to include that in the video at the beginning so that you can still see what it looked like before I got started on the decluttering. If you like to see videos go from very messy to really clean, then that's the one to watch. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to thank you for sticking around and giving me a chance. If there's any content you would like to see, go ahead and leave me a comment below. For those who may be wondering while watching this video about my dog, his name is Cookie. He's about 10.5 years old, and he just recently got diagnosed with a collapsing trachea. We're currently in the beginning stages of figuring out his dosage of medicine, and his next vet appointment is next week. We are doing everything that we can to help him, but there's not much more we can do other than give him his medicine at his scheduled time. So whenever he's having an episode, as I call it, all we can do is comfort him. If I'm ever boring you, and he's in the room with me, then you can just watch him. He's more interesting anyway. I think he knows when I'm recording, because sometimes he'll look right into the camera. And when I take pictures of him, he'll purposely look away, because he's figured out I'm trying to take a picture. Anyway, all I want to say is that dogs are family. They may be such a small part of your life, but you are their whole life. Make sure you're taking care of them and showing them all the love that they deserve, which is a lot. If you have pets, tell me about them in the comments. Do you prefer dogs or cats, or do you have both? I do like cats, but I prefer dogs. I've only had 2 dogs my whole life. My first dog we got when I was 3 years old, and he died when I was 17 in my senior year of high school, in 2006. The second one is Cookie, who you see in this video, and we've had him for 7 years. My husband and I have been unable to have children, and so he is like our child to us. And we've been married for 10 years. I recently posted a video from our vacation that we took on our 10th anniversary in September. But I may redo it because honestly, it was kind of just thrown together because I was sick at the time, which is another reason why my apartment is so behind on cleaning. It's taken me a little bit longer to get back into the groove of things. And since I've been wanting to do a decluttering series, I figured now would be a good time to get it all done at once. Not to mention the motivation factor to make sure that I finish. Because unless the job is complete, there's no content to upload. And honestly, if I didn't have this channel to update, I would probably never get around to it. Because like I said earlier, I'm the biggest procrastinator there is. But I acknowledge this fact, and I try to do something about it. What do you struggle with when it comes to decluttering or cleaning or organizing your home? Besides procrastination, another thing I struggle with is what to do with those items that I do want to keep, but I don't know where to put it. Do you struggle with either of these things too? Because nobody is perfect, I know that you have things you struggle with too. Maybe we can help each other, even if the help is just support and encouragement to continue to do your best to improve yourself and myself. Let's encourage each other, cheer each other on, so that we may both see success in our everyday lives. Let's listen to some music for a couple more minutes to give you a chance to finish anything you weren't able to already. Let's do it together, because together we can do anything, and anything is possible if we do it together.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is the last time you'll have to hear me talk in this video. I hope you were able to get done today what you'd like to get done. And even if you weren't able to get all of it done, I hope you were able to get some stuff done. So go ahead, pat yourself on the back, even if it was only a little bit, because every little bit is still progress. In this last part of the video, I do the finishing touches, which, like I've said before, is basically just doing whatever makes that space special, whether it's useful or beautiful. In this case, my finishing touches were hanging the decor on the wall that had been sitting around waiting for me to hang it up. I have had all of these things on the wall before, and most of the stuff was put back in the place that they had been before, so I only had to make a couple of holes. The only reason anything was taken down was because of rearranging, but I finally have everything put back up on the walls to make the space complete. I ended up moving the barn decor above the bookshelf to above the dining table because I felt it was too busy with the other decor on the top of the bookshelf. That was an instance where when I was recording, you could only see me but could not see what I was doing. I know that Texas decor looked weird hanging on the wall mount like that, but there is a reason, and I'm about to tell you what that reason is. That's where I had my TV. But I decided I liked it better when it was on that coffee table like I have it now. So to keep the Texas decor piece out of the way, I just hung it on the wall mount until I could take the wall mount down. And let me tell you, taking that wall mount down was not easy. It took forever, so I ended up editing it out of the video to try to keep the video length as short as I could without jeopardizing the content. As a side note, the cords that are behind the couch on the floor are there so I can sit in my chair and edit videos on my computer, especially since neither of my desks are available right now. As I mentioned earlier, the new desk is meant to replace the old desk. So yes, I have 2 desks right now, but by the end of my declutter bedroom video, I should only have 1. I know you can't totally tell watching my videos on my channel, but I consider myself a minimalist. I'm not an extreme minimalist, and I'm not very good at it either, but I do my best. Minimalism can be defined as only having that which is useful or beautiful, things that you love. A lot of times, minimalism is thought to be boring and bland with a black and white color scheme and maybe some gray. But I don't think that is correct. Minimalism doesn't really have rules. That's the beauty of it. Everyone has their own form of minimalism unique to them. A place doesn't have to look bland just because it's empty, or mostly empty. I personally like pops of color to make the space beautiful. Not everybody may like my color scheme, but I do, and that's really what matters. Some people may like the black and white aesthetic, and it can be beautiful too, but that's not for me. And maybe color's not for you, and that's perfectly fine. I first learned about minimalism a few years ago, before it became a word that just got thrown around everywhere. It was right about the time the tiny house movement started taking off. So I guess you could say I was a minimalist before minimalism was cool. I've definitely come a long way from back then. I've mentioned this before, but you could have called me a borderline hoarder. I had a lot of stuff, and I didn't want to let any of it go. And although I tried to hide my hoard behind closed doors, I still consider myself a hoarder back then. I'll tell you all about it whenever I decide to tell my story in full length. Until then, I'll continue to share how I deal with the continual struggle to prevent myself from going back to my hoarder-like ways. I hope you enjoyed this video and will come back to watch the rest of this decluttering series. Stay tuned for more content like this. And if by chance you don't like this content, I do have some other content on my channel as well. Please hit the subscribe button and click the little bell so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and please, whatever you do, have a great day.